Hey YouTube, it's me again. I had to get this out because it just came to me, and I go through my little Adam and Eve states and moments, right? Of dark psychology in the school system. And we have to be aware of certain psychology triggers. Now, we're dealing with dark psychology in the school system, psychology triggers, and programming, right? Some of this programming has been taking place. Like we have children that are struggling with determined, but would say demand, right? So demand is spelled DEMAND. Nothing like determined. Determined is spelled totally different, right? But there is a difference between the two words. The reason why you're having so much of an issue, when it comes time for you to determine something or reach a conclusion or to make a choice, you have a programming that's demanding you to choose what someone else's want is. So you're seeing determined, but you're actually seeing demand. And that goes with mastery psychology. Because I can show you a word and actually say one word and actually show you a different word and say this is this word and that is that word, and continually program you to do whatever I want you to do by just wordplay. So we have to really be careful of the manipulation of people with wordplay. A lot of times people tend to sit up there and tell you got something wrong, and you have to sit up there and you have to emphasize, well, what did I get wrong? It may be a pronunciation, because you may not knew how to pronunciate the word correctly. Now, pronunciation errors does not mean that you got the answer wrong because you pronounced it wrong. It just means that basically you may have had the fundamental process down, but the pronunciation was not there. So we may have to work on that person with the pronunciation. But to be totally honest with you, you have the key components. Now, another thing we have to pay attention to, the pronunciation and the meaning of the word as well, because this sometimes plays part in psychology. These people are leaving trails through the traits, and this is a part of the witchcraft because they're using root sources, which means this is your learning process. So while you're learning, they're sowing weed in your learning process, trying to deter you from learning or trying to create problems and havoc with your learning. Like you may have something correct and you know that you have it correct. They will sit up there and automatically tell you have it wrong even though it's correct, to sit up there and create a deterrence for learning, because you, by being a God-fearing person, it's not acceptance to having a question correct and continuing to move on like as if it was incorrect without feeling some kind of way. So this is them playing puppeteer with your psychology, like your psychological person or your psychological being through educational forms, which does need to be very much addressed, because if you got an answer correct, it should never be marked wrong or marked against you. But what's happening, they'll still mark it against you and say, oh, well, this person knows nothing. This person is this person is that. Another thing I have noticed, that some of the test scores, they kind of like play Russian roulette with a lot of the test scores or whatever the case may be. I tell people all the time, be careful with yourself. Be careful with yourself around these people. These people do a lot of messed up stuff to create roots, and this is why they call it roots. Roots is like something that's hidden. It's not on surface. It's hitting deep within you, that they psychologically programmed you to do. So every time it comes time for you to make a choice, every time it comes time for you to determine what you're going to do, you're not determining what you're going to do. You're leaning to someone else's demand. So I tell people this a lot of times. So a lot of the young men and women that are studying, I need you guys to really pay attention to what's going on with you. And I'm going to tell you something. If you notice that you're doing, see that they give you when you got the word wrong, when you said demand instead of determine, that zap that they give you where everybody, oh, it's this, that is a zap. That's a zap to say, oh, you got it wrong. But actually what it does, it makes you draw back and make you isolate to make the programming even stronger. Because we never uprooted it. All we did was isolate it. And the programming continued to grow. Isolated. We have to sit up there. We have to uproot the cause, the problem, the issue itself in order to get rid of these roots that have been witchcraft into you using different forms of craft, such as psychology, which is a form of the craft, a trade, using different trades to actually embed roots in you. Acting, entertainment, all of these are trades. All of them are ways to sit up there and embed bad behavior characteristics, all kinds of stuff that they root deep into you through programming. We have to uproot them. We have to get rid of them. We have to remove them. So what I'm telling students now, even if you get the answer wrong, continue to move forward. Do the best that you can do. And even if it's right and they say that it's wrong, don't stop doing the assignment. Just move on and know that you got it correct. If deep in your heart you know you got it correct, continue to move on. Their job is to stop you from moving, stop you from pushing forward, stop you from doing it. And they will do it by telling you did something wrong and you did everything correctly. We have to start making choices. We have to determine and not be broken by demand. Demand says, I got it wrong. This is it. It's over. We stop here. When you determine your choice, you say, yeah, I got it wrong. This ain't over. We ain't stopping here. We going to keep going. We're going to do what we have to do to push forward and continue to move forward and be brilliant. These are the games that these people play. Remember to play your game your way. When we're doing education, remember when we're studying, when we're learning something, stop hanging around people that's sowing psychology tricks and stuff like that. Education is a solo thing anyway. Take some time out when you get from around your friends to go home and study so that you can grow alone, so that you don't have to deal with them picking at you in school, because that's them sitting up there upholding the roots that are negative psychology wise for you to stop your growth. Stop worrying about it. You start getting bad test scores, doesn't mean anything. If you got a bad test score, what you need to do is get back up, keep studying, study a little bit longer, and let's get higher test scores. Don't give up. I believe in you guys. Stay blessed.